Today is Sunday, August 13th, and we are back once again after that massive live stream last night, which I kind of ended a little bit early there, but honestly, I'm not even really mad I ended it early because uh, we backed off. We weren't gonna get Flory because, he's not the kind of caliber player we want at Auburn. So, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Hashtag we backed off. I'm gonna live off of that. Uh, Auburn did not lose the commit. We just backed off of the commit. So, uh, I don't want to hear it from any Alabama fans out here, uh, about us not getting a person or any of that because we backed off. Yeah. And that's going to be pretty much um what I'm going to be saying throughout the day is we backed off of Flory. But in all seriousness, I mean, we were so close to getting him, man. It's absolutely painful that we didn't end up getting him due to, I mean, I basically talked about Flory the entire day. Um, the excitement uh of Flory, how good he is. Um, but at the end of the day, you can't really get your hopes up for a recruit that of that caliber for Auburn because I mean it's just rough going up against Kansas, Duke, etc. Um, it's just really, really rough to go up against that in a recruiting stance. And I just really, really don't know that we really had a shot to get him. I mean, really. Um, a bunch of insiders said that we were going to get him, but last second, stupid rain delay gave Kansas enough time to slip in the bag. Just shout out to Bill Self, man. That's why he's the greatest coach in college basketball right now. Nothing beats the bag of Bill Self, man. And I think that's what we realized is we really just couldn't go up against uh 800K probably is what they offered him. We probably offered him around 700K, but yeah, you can't beat the bag, man. I respect it. Obviously, I'm very upset that we didn't get him because that would have been one hell of a team having Flory and Tide on the same team. Uh, but we can't dwell on the past, and we'll just have to move on from this because at the end of the day, Bruce Pearl did say we're only going to be getting 1 to 2 high school guys a year, and the rest are transfers. Because, I mean, think about it. It's not a terrible way to live your life as a program, feeding off of transfers. I mean, we got Denver Jones, we got Baker Masra. I mean, there is some good players out there that can fill in for those 5-star recruits. And even some players that were 5-star recruits and are going to come play for Auburn transfer wise. Yeah, we didn't get those this year. Aside from Aiden, who is our 1 5-star recruit this year, we really didn't get any other high school recruits. Um, Most of them were transfers. And you look at our roster, I mean, Yoni Broom, Katie Johnson, basically our whole roster is fed off of transfers. Aside from maybe Jalen Williams, you could say, um, is the only really non-transfer on there. Uh, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I'm not gonna talk about it for too much longer because, it's we can't dwell on the past. We got 3 official visits coming up from a couple of really good players, so I guess we'll really just have to see what pans out there and then go from there. I mean, yeah, it's painful, but just think about it. We're still likely gonna have Aiden and Tyed Pettiford on the same court next year, so it's still gonna be really exciting. And I think that it's not an overreaction. Definitely not. I mean, I know we were like an inch away from getting him, and it just hurts because we were that close, and we just lost out on him. No moral victories count in recruiting. You can't say, "Oh, well, we placed second." You can't do that. I mean, you can do that in March Madness, saying that, "Oh yeah, we came one game away from winning a natty." Yeah, that's very impressive that you made it that far. But when you look at it like recruiting wise, you just really can't do that. It just sets a bad standard for the team, and I think it's just kind of disrespectful to the program saying that y'all they're basically discrediting um all that you've worked for and all that you have trained and all the crap it takes to get on the recruiting trail and all the time and effort. It's just really discrediting that hard work and effort just to place second. I mean, it's really tough. And I mean, I understand why some Auburn fans are like, oh, well, we shouldn't go for any more high school recruits. Look, I I'm not sure what to say from that. Because, yeah, high school recruits are always going to be good. They're always most likely going to be the guys you get to the NBA. So, I mean, we can't just stop going for high school guys just because we lost out on one guy. I mean, you look at previous recruiting classes, we really only have had one five-star recruit in basically every class. I mean, you look back uh, to the 2021 class, it was basically just Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, and a couple other transfers trickled in there. But that was pretty much it. Jabari Smith was really our only freshman on the entire team, aside from I forgot his name. I can't think of him. But yeah, so pretty much I don't think there's any reason to be panicked for Auburn. I mean, yeah, it's extremely disappointing losing out on Flory. He's a hell of a player, and he's gonna do pretty good at Kansas. Uh, I don't blame the kid for picking Kansas. Kansas is a great program, but we just gotta focus on who's next now, cause obviously it's not something we need to be too worried about this year, because our team's already set for this year. Really, we just need to be worried about next season, the season after this next one, and how the recruiting will pan out then. But I mean, it's not really something you're gonna be like, oh well, we should be completely worried right now that we didn't get Flory. That's not true, because I still feel like we can maybe pull one more freshman, maybe. Uh, I haven't really heard of anyone that we could possibly pull yet, but I mean, we do have Asa Newell coming in on a visit, and we have one other guy I think coming in on a visit. Um, I forgot his name, but he's coming on a visit too. So, uh, when you really look at it, it's not something to be really shocked about. I mean, really, there was two blue bloods basically in the race for Flory, so not really a massive surprise that we lost out on him. I know all the crystal balls and that kind of ran up the hype, but that just goes to show you the professionals are not always right about everything. So that's why you really need to just wait and see. It's kind of just a wait and see kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely painful to lose him because this has happened before. I mean, Jalen Green, Jonathan Kaminga, there's a few other guys I could name, but I'm not gonna go through all that. So I would not be worried if you're an Auburn fan, because I still feel like we've got a good shot at getting some nice transfers. Um, and that's really all you can do is just wait and hope for the next guy. Anyways, now that we're done talking about that, we're gonna move on. We are what, 21 days? Not even that probably now. Um, Away from the college football season. Uh, so it's time to get really, really hyped because obviously we got the college football season coming up. College basketball will be right around the corner after that. It's back to sports season, man, and I'm really excited because I'm gonna have a lot to cover. Uh, it it's just such a fun time covering all this in football season. So it's just awesome to be a part of just all this going on in college football right now. But anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Today we are going to be doing our ACC predictions as we, kind of try to hurry this. Um, we don't have much time until the college football season starts, so I got to start ramping up my predictions. So today we're going to be doing our ACC predictions, and we're going to talk a little bit about the teams before we do that. Um, I'm gonna pop this up on the thing here. This is our little schedule board for the teams, and this is where I'm gonna be doing the predictions, just so y'all can actually see what I'm actually gonna be predicting about the teams. All right. Anyways, first up is gonna be Clemson, and last season they went 11-3, I think. Um this will be the first full season that they have what's his name? Cade Klubnik at the helm at quarterback. And there's really not a lot of information out there about Cade. I mean, we really don't know how good this kid's gonna do given last season. I mean, he had more interceptions than touchdowns. So it's just gonna be a matter of just see how he does. Obviously, the ACC schedules are never going to be that difficult, but I mean, I'm interested to see how this guy's going to do with his first full season starting. Because I mean, obviously, Clemson, they're returning a lot of talent they had last year. Will Shipley, that tight end, I forgot his name, Jake Ferguson, I think it is. Jake Briggenstool, yeah, there we go. Um, And I just think I really think they're gonna be really solid this season. I'm not really sure how good they will be. I don't really know what their ceiling is. Um, Honestly, I would really say probably about 10 wins, 11 wins. I mean, that's probably about right for Clemson. So, let's just go ahead and give our record predictions here. First week they face Duke Blue Devils. Um, and Duke, I'm really, really high on. Uh, I think Riley Leonard is going to be really, really good this season for Duke. Um, and I don't think they win, but I think it'll be a close opening game. Um, and I think they give him a run for their money, but I don't think there's anything to worry about in the first game of the year right there for Clemson. All right, so 1-0 starting off. Second game is Charleston Southern. Didn't even know they were in the actually no, they're not. They're probably an FCS team. Um, so we can already go ahead and say 2-0. There's no shot at that game. Same for this 3-0. And this is really going to be where Clemson season's going to make or break, is with the Florida State game. I've said before, and I'll say it again, I'm really, really high on Florida State. I think they're, if not top two, at least top four in the entire NCAA right now. I I consider them a major college football playoff threat when you look at it, because they have as much talent as anybody on the team. And I think when it's all said and done, this team could honestly, they have the talent to go undefeated this year. And so I think Clemson picks up their first loss uh, to Florida State. All right, next game would be Syracuse. Syracuse is decent this year. Obviously returning Garrett Schrader and I think their running back's gone. So it's really going to be tough because they really relied on him pretty heavily in the run game. So I don't really expect that one to be close. It was close last year, I think it was, and they kind of tumbled at the end there and fell out of the race in the ACC. So sorry, I didn't mean to put 3-2. I meant to put 4-1. So I think they win that game pretty easily. Same with Wake Forest. I think that'll be a pretty easy game given the fact Sam Hartman's not there anymore. Miami, I'm not really high on Miami. I don't really know how good they're gonna be this year. I don't think anybody really knows. So I think their second loss comes to the NC State Wolfpack. So 6-2. Um, I think they lose to Notre Dame 6-3. And then I pretty much think they win out 7-3, 8-3, 9-3. Oh, hold up. No, I wanna change this a little bit. I think they win there 6-1. I think they win against Notre Dame. I think they win against Georgia Tech. I think they win against the Tar Heels. And I think they lose against South Carolina. Alright, that is my prediction for Clemson is 9-2 with losses to South Carolina and Florida State. I would say their ceiling is about 10 wins, so it's not pretty crazy to think that they might get 10 wins again this year, given the fact they've basically won 10 games every single season since like 2015. So, probably not crazy there. Don't want to be a little too crazy with them. I'm not projecting no 12-0 for them, especially with a new offensive coordinator, so we really don't know how that's going to go for them. Alright, moving on to the second team, and this will be Florida State. Like I've said before, I am extremely high on Florida State. And I think genuinely they are, if not the best team in the country, at least top four. And I think they are going to bring it this season. Um, And honestly, I could really see them being national champs this year. I mean, I see the talent with their team. I could see them going undefeated, really, when it's all said and done. So, um, it's not crazy to expect them to possibly win a national championship this year. And I mean, yeah, it's gonna be rough. Um, it's gonna be a hard schedule. I mean, they do definitely have one of the toughest schedules out there. So, um, at least in the ACC, that's it. That is. I'm not saying in the entire NCAA, but in the SEC or the ACC, they definitely have a pretty tough schedule, facing off at Florida versus LSU and at Clemson. Those are going to be probably the hardest shots you have at losing a game. So I think they open and win versus LSU. I think they win against Southern Miss, Boston College, and obviously Clemson. So they start off 4-0. I think they win against Virginia Tech. I think they win against Syracuse. I think they win against Duke, Wake Forest, and Pittsburgh. So 9-0 starting off in the season. Uh, this is probably going to be one of the closer games of their season, being in Miami, Florida. Florida State versus Miami. A little bit of a rivalry there. I think they pulled through and start off 10-0, and that bring that to 11-0. And I know this seems a little far-fetched. They still, I'm not saying this guaranteed will happen. I'm saying this, if they beat LSU, there's a really, really like good chance that they beat Clemson and basically win out the rest of their season. Because other than the two ranked games they have on their schedule, there's really not anybody I would say that has the talent level of their team this year. So when you look at it, you got to compare matchups, and I really just don't think any other team has a crazy good matchup against them. And I think that's really what's going to um, help them go 12-0 here. And I think they beat Florida, and I think they finish the season 12-0 and head to the ACC championship game. All right, moving on now to Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh doesn't have the crazy schedule. Uh, I expect them to do okay this season. I don't know that they're gonna be as good as they once were because Kenny Pickett's not there anymore. Uh, so like I said, I expect them to be decent. I wouldn't expect too much from them. So, let's go ahead and get into it because we're already running low on time here because I've got to go to work at 2. So, we're just gonna finish this up, and then we're gonna be done for the day pretty much until probably tomorrow when we're having a insanely massive guest on. So stay tuned. Check my Twitter for updates on that because I will be announcing it probably after this stream. I think they go 3-1 to start. 4-1. I'm gonna say 4-2. 5-2. 5-3. 5-4. 6-4. 7 wins. I think they finished the season 7-5. They have some tough games. They gotta play at Notre Dame. At Duke is not gonna be the easiest game there either. So don't count out Duke, man. I'm telling y'all, they're coming this year. I feel like they are more than improved, and I feel like Riley Leonard honestly is top 5 quarterback in the ACC this year. So that's gonna be a really interesting season for them, and they're upcoming. So all right, now on to North Carolina. So the first game they have is South Carolina. I obviously already projected that in my SC predictions. You can go back to see what I said about that, but they start off 0-1, now 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. 4 wins. I think they lose, so 4-2. 5-2 now. 6-2. Campbell, it's definitely 7-2. 7-3 losing to Duke. 7-4 losing to Clemson. And I think they beat North Carolina State. And they finished the season 8-4. Alright, now with Miami. This is going to look a little different because I kind of messed up on the editing part of this. So, moving on to Miami. I'm not very high on Miami. I think they're going to probably be decent at best. We really don't know how Ty Van Dyke is going to really do. And we really don't know how good of a quarterback he really is yet. And honestly, it's extremely debatable whether he has the offensive line to actually have a good season. So we'll just have to wait and see, because I'm never really too high on Miami as a football team. I don't really like Mario Cristobal as a coach, so uh, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So let's get in the prediction. Let's get into the predictions. I think they obviously win week 1. I think they lose week 2 to Texas A&M. Obviously Bethune Cookman, that's a win. Temple, I think they win. I think they win against Georgia Tech. And I think they win against North Carolina. Did I have them losing or winning this game? Okay, yeah, I had them winning. So, I have them winning against, or losing against Clemson. So, 5-2. Virginia, 6-2. I'm gonna have them at 7-2. Then I have them losing to Florida State. I have them losing to Louisville. And then I have them winning against Boston College. So, when it's all said and done, 8-4. Pretty, honestly, probably, uh, pretty solid. Given the fact that they didn't even make a bowl game last year. So, don't get, I'm not going to get too crazy here for you Miami fans, but I feel like y'all have something at least to be glad about this season, improving like at least a decent amount. And it's really, really, really going to be a matter of rather Ty Van Dyke can pull it out. So if he can, I think I think they can win at least 10 games. But if not, I don't see it happening. All right, so moving on here. Um, let's see. Next up is NC State. So let's get into it. Week 1, I think they lose to UConn on the upset. I think they lose to Notre Dame. I think they beat VMI. I think they beat Virginia. I think they lose to Louisville. I think they win against Marshall. And I think they lose to Duke. I think they lose to Clemson. And I think they... Wait, did I have them losing or winning this game? Let's see. Okay, yeah. I have them losing this game. 3-6 with the last 3 remaining. And I think they pull it through and win out 4-6, 5-6. And then obviously NC State, North Carolina. Who do I have winning that one? Okay, so yeah. I think they lose this game and go 5-7. Alright, moving on to Louisville. I think Louisville has honestly, some good talent on their roster this year. No Malik Cunningham, obviously. But, I really think they have a shot to win the ACC this year. I think they got a really favorable schedule. And I think, honestly, no better year to do it than now. So I think they start off, basically win their first 4, winning against Indiana and Boston College and NC State. I think they slip up to Notre Dame. I think they win against Pitt. I think they win against Duke. I think they beat Virginia Tech. I think they get upset here by Virginia. I think they lose, or did I have them losing or winning this game? Miami. So yeah, All right. I have them winning another one here against Miami, and then I have them losing against Kentucky. So 9-3. Like I said, I'm extremely high on Louisville. I think they've got a really favorable schedule, only facing pretty much one top 25 team. So I don't think Kentucky's going to be a top 25 team when it's all said and done. No disrespect to Kentucky fans, but it's just not the year for y'all. So, anyways, moving on here to the next team, it's going to be Duke. So, Clemson Tigers is their first game on the schedule. I think they lose, but I think it'll be close, like I said before. So 1-1. I think it'll be 2-1. Make it 3-1. I think they lose to Notre Dame here, just barely, but I think they slip up and lose to Notre Dame. I think they beat NC State. They nearly upset Florida State, and I think they lose to Louisville. And then Wake Forest. North Carolina, I think they win. I think they win against Virginia. And I think they win against Pitt too. So 8-4. Like I said, I honestly think that they can win more games than that. I think they can win 9 this season, honestly, when it's all said and done. I'm really high on Duke in the ACC this year. I think they can get 3 to the 3rd spot at least. I don't know who will be the second. I think, is it East West or is it non? I think it's non. Oh, sick. Bruh. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think holy crap, what I do? What I open. Okay. Anyways, at the end of the day, I think Duke wins about 8 games. So, I'm really high on them. I feel like they can win at least 10 games, but I think they slip up a couple times there at least. Next up is Wake Forest. Like I said before this, I don't think Wake is going to do very good this year. I mean, we've seen them a couple times the year before, but obviously Sam Hartman's not there anymore, so I don't see them having a high ceiling. I think they win the first 3, obviously, because it's Vandy, Elon, and Old Dominion. Actually, I think they lose against Vandy. I'll take that back. I forgot I had Vandy winning against them in my ACC prediction. So 3-1 starting the season off. So 1-0. Wait, 2-1, or no, 1-1, and then 2-1. And then Georgia Tech, I think they win this one. Clemson, I think they lose. So 3-2. I think they win against Virginia Tech. I think they lose against Pitt. Lose against them. Lose against Duke. I think they win against NC State. Hold on, let me check. Yeah. Lose against NC State. And I think they lose to Notre Dame. And I think they beat Syracuse just barely. So 5-7 at the end of the year. Do you think will do Vanderbilt? I think their ceiling is there. Obviously, I feel like they probably had a better shot to do it last year, since now their quarterback's gone. I feel like their quarterback situation is a little bit iffy right now. Because, I mean, they don't really have, like, a highly touted quarterback right now. I think I don't know if you watched it, but uh, I think I had them at like slated at like 5 or 6 wins in the season. Uh, I definitely think they're headed in the right direction when it comes to talent. But if they figure out that, do you think Georgia will run it back? That is a great question. And I have a couple of answers for that actually. Uh, yeah, I think Georgia has the schedule to run it back, definitely. Um, hold on. I think I can bring it up here, but um, hold on. I'll bring up the Georgia schedule and broadcast it and tell you all my thoughts. I'm not really sure. I forgot what I had them slated at, but I did have them going undefeated. Um, to answer your question fully here, I feel like they really have a good shot to do it, but I think I think one thing with this year's Georgia team, they don't have the mailman, right? They don't have Stetson Bennett. Uh, and obviously their starter is gonna be Carson Beck, but I feel like they have the talent on their roster to do it again. But I think there is some games that's like, if that quarterback's not too good, I think Georgia could possibly lose a game or two. But that is considering that Georgia is returning Brock Bowers, they're returning Lad McConkey. Their their defense is probably going to be one of the best once again. So to answer your question, I don't think they run it back, but I do think they make it to the college football playoffs. I personally think uh, this year is more open than other years because it's kind of like you have your top four teams usually per year, right? It's gonna be Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama's gonna be in the mix, and then you're gonna have Georgia, who is basically always in there, right? So I feel like this season's more open because the quarterbacks of those teams, it flipped around, right? So Alabama had Bryce Young, it flipped, right? So now they don't know who their quarterback is, and I really haven't seen anything from them to tell me, oh wow, this guy's crazy. Same with Georgia. I really haven't seen too much film on Carson Beck to say, well, oh, he's gonna be even better than Stetson Bennett or the same. So and Ohio State, they don't even know who their quarterback's gonna be. I think it's gonna be McCord, but uh, to answer your question, no, I don't. I don't think they run it back. My teacher played for Vanderbilt. His name is Tarian Ferguson. Oh, that's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, I think Vandy's gonna be okay this season. I think they need to get out of the SEC, to be fair, before they can really start to turn around. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't think they run it back, but I think they're at least the two. I think they could possibly lose the SEC championship, but I've been wrong before about them. I can probably be wrong about it again, given the fact how much success they've had in recent memory. So it's gonna be just a time will tell type thing, honestly. But anyways, getting back on subject here, we have 5 teams left here, so we're gonna finish this up real quick before we answer any more questions. So you can put your questions in chat if anybody has any. Just I will read it here in a moment, so just stick around. All right, game 1 for Syracuse. It's easy win. 2 easy wins. It's an easy loss. 3-1 starting the season. Then I think they lose to Clemson, North Carolina, and Florida State. I think they turn around a little bit here. Win versus Boston College and Virginia. Don't think I've done Pitt yet, so 5-5. Georgia Tech, I think they win that game pretty easily. And I think they finished 6-6. 6-6. There we go. Alright. Now Boston College, who is the dumpster fire of the ACC, so I don't expect them to do really good this season. They really haven't been good since the Matt Ryan era, so. Game 1. Y'all should have been tuned in not all day, because it's kind of impossible, because it was nearly a 4-hour stream, but I interviewed one of my good friends on Twitter, Ace. Shout out to him once again for giving me an amazing interview on college football and giving me some inside details there. But y'all might want to tune in tomorrow, because we're having a absolutely massive, and I will say massive, insider on here tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that. It's gonna be really exciting, man. I'm excited for this podcast, it growing every single day. All right, 2-2. So 4-8. All right, moving on to Virginia Tech. So their first game's Old Dominion. That's a win. Purdue, that's a loss. Rutgers, that's a win. Marshall, that's a win. Easy win. Pitt, 3-2. 3-3. 3-4. So 3-9. Sorry, Virginia Tech fans. I just had to do it. Alright, moving on here to the last two, Georgia Tech and Virginia. So Georgia Tech is not going to be very good. I'll already say that. They're not going to be good, and they're going to be pretty bad, honestly. Two and 5 to start. So 3-8 at the end of the regular season. So, or 3-9. Yeah, 3-9. So next up is Virginia. I'm not very high on Virginia. I think Tony Elliott made a huge mistake leaving Clemson for Virginia, honestly. And neither of them really has had really much success since then. Dabo hasn't been to another national championship since Tony Elliott left. And Tony Elliott has not had any success with Virginia. And honestly, this may be his last year as head coach. You messed up the number on the last team. Yeah, I know. I think I fixed it. Yeah, I did. My bad. Um, there we go. I think that's fixed. Wait, 1, 2, 3 losses, 2 wins, 4 losses, 5 losses. Oh yeah, you're right. You're totally right. That's my bad. I completely missed that. So 3-10. Hold up, that can't be right. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. Let's just hit reverse here. I've got myself all messed up. That one's on me. I was not paying attention enough. I was just zooming through that one because honestly, I do not care much about these bottom dwelling ACC teams much at all. So I'm kind of just going through it because Georgia Tech has gone through it really. Um, they haven't been good since I really couldn't tell you when was the last time Georgia Tech was good. I actually just want to know when was the last time Georgia Tech beat Georgia? Because it's been a minute. That's like the worst rivalry in college football. I just don't understand why that's even a rivalry. It's just been like a massive winning streak for Georgia. I really just want to know that. I want to kind of look it up. Let's see. Let's see the history. If it'll load. They've played for so long too. It's been a rivalry for like the longest time. Uh, let's see. Okay, it was showing up and now it's gone. 70 wins and 39 losses. Let's see. They beat them. Oh, they lost in 2014. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot about that year. They went to overtime, I think it was, and they just lost like very ever so slightly. Yeah, that was the last time they beat them. So it's not been too long since they last beat them. Every once in a while, like every once in a blue moon, they'll beat them. Uh, I don't think it's gonna be this year, obviously, but who knows? You never know what can happen. College football is crazy sometimes. No, I had them beating Virginia. So yeah, 3-9. So I did fix it correctly. Alright, so yeah, 3-9 for them. And next up is Virginia. And like I was saying before, I messed up there. Uh, I don't think Tony Elliott will be at Virginia much longer just because, Virginia hasn't been very successful at all while he's been there. I mean, they had Brennan Armstrong, I think it was. Or maybe I'm wrong. Hold up, let me check real quick. Yeah, so it was Brennan Armstrong, but he transferred out. So I was right. And he really couldn't do anything with one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the entire NCAA, and he couldn't put that together because Tony Elliott's offense is really dictated more pro style, honestly. So I think that's the reason why they haven't had much success is because they're kind of more doing a read type of offense, and that's not what his skill set's dedicated to. So 3-2. William and Mary tribe. Huh. 4-4. Holy crap. They have such a weak schedule. I may actually have them. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have them in a bowl game. So, because I don't think they'll beat either Duke or Louisville. I think they'll beat Virginia Tech. So they barely get bowl eligible, and on my prediction there. So I have them at 6-6. So when it's all said and done, if anybody missed the predictions, I pretty much have Florida State 12-0. I mean, look, I know a lot of people may be jumping on that like, oh, no way, absolutely no way they beat LSU and Clemson. Man, I don't know, man, because you look at the schedule, what really other games do they have that's tough other than LSU and Clemson? Because, I mean, I know there'll be a couple games where it'll be a little closer, but when you really look at it, the only other game that's kind of like iffy is the Miami game, and I think they squander Miami. I think Miami just doesn't have the talent to hang with Florida State, and I would say they probably slip up in the ACC championship game and get in the college football playoffs. But yeah, I mean, when it's all said and done, I think that Florida State is national championship type caliber team this year. And I'm going to stick to that until I see that they aren't. Or maybe they will. So that's going to be it for the ACC predictions. So I'm going to, how do I remove this? Okay. All right, so that's going to be the rest of the ACC predictions. I have Clemson and Florida State. Yeah, Clemson and Florida State in the ACC championship, and I think Clemson wins that rematch game. Uh, but yeah, so Florida State's definitely. I have no doubts that Florida State's going to be the best team in that conference. Especially with that schedule. I mean, ACC schedules are always kind of a little iffy. Um, so before we head out for the day here, I know it's been a pretty short stream, but I'm not gonna stream nowhere close to 4 hours again for back-to-back days. Um, just real quick, I don't think we really have a chance to talk about Heisman candidates much, but Heisman candidates, I want to get y'all's thoughts on that. I don't know if who's in the chat here, but if anybody is in the chat, I want to ask whoever is, um, who do y'all think is the favorite for Heisman this year? Personally, I think that Florida State's quarterback is the favorite in my opinion. Um, I have a lot of reasons, just because like looking back last year, we really hold on, I forgot his name. Yeah, Jordan Travis. There we go, Jordan Travis. Uh, Jordan Travis is like, if you saw him last year, I mean, he was a dual threat guy. He could run and pass the ball, and just having that, yeah, he had 417 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground, 3,214 passing yards, and 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So I definitely think he'll be up there. Yeah, Caleb Williams, that is the no-brainer pick, obviously. Um, but I think the Pac-12 is more competitive than ever this year. I think Oregon State's going to be dangerous just because they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder. I think Washington's dangerous, and I think Oregon is dangerous. So, I mean, yeah, defensively wise, the Pac-12 is not strong, so he can really just do whatever he wants. So, yeah, I completely agree with that. But I'm kind of just throwing out some dark horse candidates here. I think Marvin Harrison. I know we haven't seen a lot of wide receiver Heismans, but I think he's got a shot at it. I don't think he plays enough to get it, but that's just one guy I'm kind of throwing out there. Like, he could if he played enough, which I don't think he will, because I think uh, when we get closer deep into the season, I think he's gonna sit out because he's basically guaranteed top three pick at that point. Um, but yeah, I agree on the Caleb Williams thing. I think another guy who might be up there at the end of the season is what's his name again? Blake Corum. Yeah, Blake Corum. Uh, I don't think he gets the touches just because of Donovan. What's his last name? Donovan Jackson. Donovan something. Donovan Edwards. I don't think he gets the touches because I think Donovan Edwards is like more talented than Blake Corum. But I think Blake Corum has a good shot at being the best running back in the nation again this year. And there's one more guy I had up there, but I forgot his name. Oh, Drake May. I think Drake May's got at least a decent chance at winning Heisman, given the fact that basically all North Carolina does is pass. So, he's gonna have like a lot of shots to throw the ball. Uh, yeah, Michael Penix. I was just about to say that actually. Michael Penix. I personally think he's the second or third best quarterback in the Pac-12. But let's not forget here about Bo Nix, because given the fact that he was like top five in Heisman last season, and the fact that Oregon has only gotten better, really, on the offensive side, I think Bo Nix has got a really, really high chance at winning that. I mean, if Caleb Williams can do it, I think definitely Bo Nix could too. I think he's got the talent, and I think he's got the offense this year to do it too. But yeah, I definitely agree with Michael Penix. He's a great dual threat to go get it. And when you really look at the past Heisman's, it's always been dual threat guys. Um, I think that quarterback from Michigan has a good chance. I forget his name. Let me check. JJ McCarthy. Yeah, JJ McCarthy, I think, is the best quarterback in the Big Ten right now. So, um, I like his chances at being at least top six, I would say, in the Heisman candidates. Um, Not really sure he gets like the passing chances, honestly, because when you look at it, they had two nearly 1,000-yard rushers last season. So I don't really think he gets the chance to be Heisman, honestly. Because, I mean, Harbaugh's system has really always been run and gun, really. So I don't think he gets the chance there. I think he runs the football a lot, too. So um, I definitely don't see him being a likely candidate for the actual reward. One guy I'm just gonna throw out a limb here, Drew Aller, and I know we haven't seen a lot of him, but given the fact that he basically came in last year and he was really good, he didn't just keep them in some games. I mean, he was really good. He was underrated. So I know it's shocking, but I'm really high on Drew Aller. Oh, one guy also I'm gonna throw out on a limb here is Tanner Mordecai. I think a lot of people aren't looking at Luke Fickell's system the way they should be this year. Um, Giving the fact that he had basically a dynasty at Cincinnati of like 10 win games. So when you look at it, he's exactly the type of quarterback that Wisconsin wants and Luke Fickell wants, really. So, I mean, really, really, when you look at it, Tanner Mordecai is gonna be up there too. So, definitely gonna have to look out for that. Shit, did I close out these? Okay, no. But anyways, that's gonna do it for now, cause I gotta get off here and go do some stuff. But it's been a pretty fun stream, short, but I will probably stream again tomorrow. Again, y'all are gonna want to see what guest I have on tomorrow, cause it's huge, it's game changing, and I am definitely excited to sit down here and interview him. It's gonna be fun, so definitely tune in tomorrow. And I will see you guys next time. This is your host, Griffin King. I'm your host, Griffin King. And I'm signing off here. Peace.